Tell me about your therapy group.
Okay, it used to be the men's Wednesday afternoon bread baking therapy group, but now we're gender neutral. It's men and women come together and we bake bread 2 or 3 times a month, small groups, anywhere from 2 to 7 people. And we usually bake 2 or 3 things. We prepare dough before, then we make dough while we're there. We shape, we do seasonal breads, we do sourdough. Sourdough is our latest. We've got a sourdough specialist in the group.
Oh, we're having a little video problem.
And what? You've run out?
No.
You don't have enough
It's just
memory?
that it's a little noisy.
Oh.
Okay, you bake stuff. You bake sweet and.
We bake sweet and we bake savory. We do seasonal. We do hot cross buns, cinnamon buns.
She went to my car.
We do St. Lucia buns on December the 13th. Then what we do is after we finish baking, the person who's hosting is responsible for preparing a little bit of food, a simple supper, some soup or stew, and then we sit down, we break bread, we eat it, we have supper, and then by 8 o'clock, everybody's gone.
And where does the therapy come in?
The therapy comes in and people getting together to do something as life promoting and life sustaining as baking bread together. And so, for instance, one of my colleagues was going through a painful divorce, and we had done the cafe conversation piece many times, and I found it wasn't working really for him. But inviting him into the bread therapy group, he was able to kind of take his mind away from that, to get the support of the group in other ways. He created a new identity for himself. He became a sourdough specialist within the group. And then more time went by as well. Eventually the divorce thing was resolved, and then he left the group after 5 years, relocated to a different city, and I think he was, I wouldn't say much happier, but he was happier having participated in
I'm very intrigued. Well, first of all, I think it's a very meditative practice to bake bread. And so you can't really think about your problems full force while you're doing something productive with your hands, would you say? Or?
Yes, and the nice thing about preparing dough is there are those intervals of time in between prepping the dough, and then you have to wait. The yeast has to act on the dough, so then it's good for conversation, it's good for sitting around, it's good for solving as many of the world's problems as we can cram into one afternoon.
What about building a pause into your life? Isn't that helpful when you bake the bread in your pause?
Of course, yeah.
It teaches you not to run away with your feelings and thoughts, perhaps. It's a meditative.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you're concentrating on that piece, and there's a simplicity too. I think it's partly related to the pause and the simplicity. Yeah.